This is one of the reasons why you lose marks even after writing a very good answer. Always remember that the sentence structure is very important and there should be a logical flow in the sentence. Hello there, this is episode 2 of Finite and Non-Finite Verbs. As promised, in this episode, I will be discussing the common mistakes, real-life application, and make things easier with some hacks and tricks and practice exercises. But first, let's quickly recall what we have understood in the last episode by revising the differences. So here goes the differences between finite and non-finite verbs. Finite verbs act as the main verb and can be changed according to the noun, while non-finite verbs can never be the main verb as they do not talk about the action that is being performed by the subject or noun. Finite verbs are used only in present and past tense. Non-finite verbs does not indicate any tense, mood or gender. Finite verbs can be indicative of passive and active voices and also number, singular or plural. On the other hand, non-finite verbs are used as nouns, adverbs and adjectives, and they are used to form non-finite clauses. These are categorized into three types: infinitive, gerund and participles. Now, you must be thinking why this lady has left this table blank. Well, you are going to fill it out with just examples on finite and non-finite verbs. You can find the examples anywhere, from your books, from a story or from your daily activities, but try to keep the theme same. Now let's start from where we had left in the last episode. How to understand the difference between gerunds and present participles. Quickly grab your notebooks. First of all, understand the basic thing. Gerunds is equal to nouns. Okay? Gerunds have no other variation. It's simply nouns. On the other hand, present participles denotes continuous tenses, that is actions in progress, and they also act as adjectives, that is, it describes the noun. Now let's understand this through examples. She enjoys playing guitar. Is this word playing denoting any continuous tenses? No. Is it describing any noun? Not at all. So, it is just answering the question, she enjoys what? She enjoys playing guitar. Therefore, playing is acting as a noun and hence as a gerund. Clear? And here, she is playing the guitar, of course, is denoting a continuous tense and action in progress. So, it is a present participle. In this sentence, she is good at what? She is good at playing guitar. And the exciting movie kept us on the edge of our seats. Here, the word exciting is describing the noun movie. Therefore, it is acting as adjective and hence it is a present participle. Clear? Now it's time to walk through the common mistakes that we do in our daily life while using non-finite verbs. The first common mistake is our tendency to misuse the gerunds and infinitives. Now, the question is, how will you identify if it is a gerund or an infinitive? Remember, gerunds end in ing and function as nouns. So, it will be answering what. And infinitive start with to. Simple enough. And to rectify this error, first you have to determine whether the verb acts as a noun or needs the to form based on the sentence structure and meaning. Like in this example. She enjoys what? She enjoys to swim. No, to swim is wrongly fitted here. Right? It will be she enjoys swimming. Therefore, we have to use a gerund here. Clear? Next, we often tend to get confused between present participle and gerund. And how to identify this? The same way, remember, gerunds function as noun in a sentence. However, the present participle does not act as a noun. So, to rectify this error, ensure that the ing form is functioning as a noun, not just describing an action. If it's describing an action or shows an ongoing action, then of course it's not a gerund. Another common mistake is misplacing participle phrases. Yes, this is one of the reasons why you lose marks even after writing a very good answer. Always remember that the sentence structure is very important and there should be a logical flow in the sentence. Remember, the trick is participle phrases often describe the subject of the main clause. Alright? Now, how to rectify this error? You have to ensure that the participle phrase modify the intended noun or pronoun in the sentence. Like, in the example, we got on the bus soaked from rain. Doesn't it seem that the participle phrase soaked from rain is actually describing the noun bus? But can the bus be soaked? No, not at all. So, in the second sentence, soaked from the rain, we got on the bus, the participle phrase is describing what? It's describing the subject we. And this is the correct sentence as it has a logical flow. Clear? And now the most important error, which is incorrectly matching the verb with the subject in terms of number, singular or plural. Do you remember in one of the episodes of verb series, we had discussed about this error? Remember, singular verbs always end with s or es, except for irregular ones, while plural verbs does not have any s as a suffix. So, don't get confused between the singular and plural verbs and nouns. So, in order to ensure that there is no such mistake, always identify the subject and ensure the verb agrees with the number and person. For example, one of my friends likes to cook Italian food. Here you are not going to consider friends as the subject. Here the main subject is one friend. So one should be considered, and as one is singular, so we will use singular verb likes, verb plus s, not simply like. Clear? Another common mistake which I often find while checking the answer sheets is that students tend to use incorrect verb forms, especially with irregular verbs in the past or present tenses. See, you have to know the correct past and past participle form of irregular verbs. You have no other way to it, right? So in order to rectify this error and get full marks in all your answers, you have to use the correct forms of verbs to maintain the tense consistency. Like you can see in the example, you are not going to use flight as the past tense of the verb fly. Instead, use flew. Therefore, ensure that you learn the irregular verbs along with its past and past participle forms diligently. And now it's time for the hacks and tricks. Let's start with identifying the finite verbs. Trick number 1, spot the s. In present tense, finite verbs often end with s when the subject is singular. Example, he reads. So, the trick is to look for the s to identify the finite verb. Trick number 2, time travel. Finite verbs indicates time. So, use words like yesterday, today or tomorrow to identify past, present and future tenses. Example, I walked to the store yesterday. This is a finite verb in past tense. Now let's know How to identify the non-finite verbs? Trick number 1. Remember, the basic and the only rule to identify infinitive is that it starts with the word to followed by the base form of a verb. And this rule is never going to change by any means. Clear? So whenever you find a verb in its base form preceded by the word to, just understand that it's a non-finite verb or infinitive. Now, the next trick to identify the non-finite verb is to identify the gerunds which end in ing and functions as nouns, like reading is fun. Here, reading is a gerund because it is answering the question what is fun. However, if you say that the cat is reading a book, that reading is not going to be considered as gerund. So you have to spot the ing and check if it is working as a noun to ensure that it is a gerund. Now let's understand how to identify the participles. Remember, participles can be past, example broken, book or built, except irregular verbs, or present, example writing. Identifying present and past participles in non-finite verbs can be challenging, but there are some tricks to help you recognize them. First, let's understand the features of the past participle. Past participle often end in ed, end, or t, or sometimes irregular forms. They are used with auxiliary verbs like have, has, or had to form past tenses. Auxiliary verbs like is, am, are, was, were, has, have, had, etc. often precede past participles. Now let's see the features of present participle. If you see a verb ending in ing, it's likely a present participle. Present participles are often used with forms of be, like am, is, are, was, were, to create continuous tenses. With these tricks, I hope you won't be facing the issues with identifying finite and non-finite verbs anymore. Lectures and lectures. Enough. Now, let me tell you a short story about a passionate chef. In a bustling city, there lived a young chef named Mia. She had a culinary dream to open her own restaurant where flavors danced on plates and memories were created with each bite. Mia loved experimenting with spices, cooking exotic dishes and baking delightful pastries. One day, Mia decided to participate in a prestigious cooking competition. She prepared meticulously, ensuring every recipe was perfected. During the competition, Mia's hands moved gracefully, adding a pinch of love here and a dash of passion there. Her creation, a delectable chocolate souffle, impressed her judges. Mia won the first prize and her dream came true. She opened her restaurant, A Taste of Passion. At her restaurant, Mia continues to delight her customers with unique dishes. Her signature dessert, the Passionate Parfait, consists of layers of velvety chocolate mousse topped with caramelized nuts. Every spoonful evokes a sense of joy, making our customers come back for more. In this culinary adventure, you must have found finite verbs and non-finite verbs enriching the narrative by describing the processes and adjectives in a broader sense. And here goes the next task. Read the story again, mark all the verbs, categorize the verbs in finite, infinitive, gerund, past participle and present participle, and then check the answer in the next video. Remember, the key to use the verbs perfectly is to practice regularly by reading widely, proofreading carefully, consulting grammar resources, online or offline, and always taking feedback after every written piece from your peer or mentor. Alright, I hope you found this helpful. Stay tuned for more such lessons. Take care. Bye-bye.